Hi, we're going to be looking at q16, the rate of change for a table. So the definition of rate of change is a change in y divided by a change in x, or we're asking to find the slope. The slope formula is going to be the change of, or the subtraction of y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. So basically what we have here is the change in y is going to be the numerator, and then the change in x is going to be the denominator. Now, another thing that I want to go ahead and do is we're going to go over the IXL problems, but we're going to go over different levels of IXL. So for the first problem, the financial aid at Terry University produced an internal report on the number of students receiving scholarships. So we have a table of students receiving scholarships. It has years and students. So what I'm going to do on my own is I'm going to rewrite the table so that I understand it for myself. I understand in particular that I have two columns, and I have years 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. And on the right hand side, I have the values of the student scholarships, or the number of student scholarships, excuse me. So for 2015, I have 45. 2016, I have 41. 2017, 49. And 2018 is 62. 2019 is 50. The first thing I need to do is designate which is the x and which is the y. So for the x, I know that my year is going to be the x, and I know that my students, or the number of students, is going to be the y. So that means that all of these values are equal to x. So all the years could be a possible x. And that means that everything on the right-hand side, all of these quantity of students could be a possible y. And what it's asking us to do, it says, according to the table, what is the rate of change between 2018 and 2019? So we're looking for the rate of change. We're just going to call that the ROC. So the rate of change between 2018 and 2019 is what I'm looking for. So the first thing I need to know is that my 2018 is going to be my x1, y1. My 2019 is going to be my x2 and my y2. So x1 and y1 is going to be 2018. So let's just highlight that really quickly. So I have 2018 and 62. So that means that I have 2018, comma 62. And then for 2019, I have 50. So 2019 is my x and 50 is my y. So that's going to be 2019 and 50. I need to designate my x1, y1, my x2, and y2 before I substitute those values into my formula. So let's go ahead and be clear. X1 is equal to 2018. Y1 is equivalent to 62. X2 is 2019. And Y2 is going to be 50. My slope formula states that I am going to subtract. So let's look at the slope formula again. It's going to be right here. It means that I'm going to subtract y2 minus y1. So let's work this out. Y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So that's going to be equivalent to 50 minus 62 divided by x2 2019 minus 2018. So 50 minus 62 is negative 12. And 2019 minus 2018 is going to be 1. So my answer is going to be negative 12. But we're not done. What I want to know in particular, I would like to know, what I want to know is going to be the rate of change. So I know that I have my rate of change is going to be negative 12. But I need to be able to explain the rate. So it's negative 12 what? If we look at the change, initially we had student, and then we divided that by the change of y, and the change of y. So I've developed the rate of change. I know it's negative 12. And in the IXL, it says students per year. The way that they got students per year is that they said that the change in y was going to be the number of students divided by, so we say students, because we use the y's equal students. And then when we say the divide button, or when we talk about the divide operation, I always say the button because we use calculators, is going to be the word per. And when we talk about the x's were, so we were a student, and the x's were the year. So it's students per year. And that's your solution. So let's go ahead and try that. And if we type in negative 12, let's see. Okay, so next problem. A vendor who sold bread at farmer's market counted the number of leftover loaves at the end of each day. So loaves of leftover bread. The table has days and leftovers. So days are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the leftover loaves are 46, 59, 36, 33, 19. So according to the table, what is the rate of change between Tuesday and Friday? And then in this one, it wants us to round our answer in a, let's see, to the nearest 10. So that we got to use decimals this time. So what's important about this table is that when we look at the x's and y's, we said before that x's are going to be numbers and that my y's are going to be numbers because we have to subtract them, right? We have to find the rate of change, which is essentially the slope. What we're missing right here for the days or for the y's is a numerical equivalent. So because I know this sounds silly, but in different countries, the days of the week are numbered differently. So some weeks start on a Monday, some weeks start on a Sunday. Depending on where you're from, you're going to name Tuesday the third day of the week or the second day of the week. So the easiest thing to do is just to assign Tuesday as the first day of the week because this is what's numbered. Wednesday will be the second day, Thursday will be the third day, Friday will be the fourth, and Saturday will be the fifth. So that means that I can convert this whole chart to an X and Y chart, but we need to remember that what days we're talking about. So I have 1 is 46, 2 is 59, 3 is 36, 4 is 33, and 5 is 19. That means that when we go back to our problem, it says, according to the table, find the rate of change for Tuesday and Friday. I would have been using those two X and Y values. So if I use my new column, I can say that Tuesday is the first day, so it's 146, and then Friday is the fourth day, or we're calling it number 4, and it's 433. So now we're going to use our slope formula. So remember, the rate of change is the same thing as the slope. Our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we are looking for, I want to be very specific, we are looking for the rate of change between Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm sorry, Friday. So that is going to determine how we talk about our x1, y1, and our x2 and y2. So Tuesday was mentioned first, so this is going to be x1, y1, and Friday was mentioned second, so this is going to be our x2 and our y2. So my x1 is equivalent to, again, I want to be clear, we said Tuesday is now the ordered pair of 146. So that means that x1 is going to be 1, y1 is going to equal 46, and then when we have x2, we're talking about Friday. So x2 is going to equal 4, and y2, the number of those were 33. Okay, so now we're going to find the slope. Let's go ahead and set this up. So it's going to be y2, 33, minus y1, 46, divided by x2, which is 4, minus 1. So 33 minus 14 is going to be negative 13. And 4 minus 1 is 3. So the answer says, according to the table, what is the rate of change between Tuesday and Friday? Round your answer to the nearest tenth. So we're going to have to do long division. So negative 13 goes inside my house, divided by 3. 3 goes into negative 13, negative 4 times. And then we're going to convert this to a decimal. So then I have plus 12, right, because it's the opposite. So negative 13 plus 12 is going to be 1.0. 3 goes into, I don't think y'all learned it like that. Just want to correct that. So 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9, so I'm subtracting 9. I have a second 0. So remember, we're bringing down the zeros. So I get 1 and 0. It looks like I'm going to have repeating 3, so 3 goes into 10 another 3 times. So I'm going to subtract 9. Just want to make sure I'm correct. Yeah, and I would have to add another 0, so we would have repeating 3. So when I enter in my answer, round your answer to the nearest tenth, the tenths place is right here. So that's going to be negative 4.3. Let's submit that. We got it right. Cool. All right, so let's say. Next problem, a pair of Jefferson High School hockey fans counted the number of games won by the school each year. And hockey games won by Jefferson High School. The years are 2010 through 2014. And then we have the number of games won. According to the table, when was the rate of change greater? So here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to have to compare. So first of all, ROC, when I use it, is called the rate of change. And then we also need to know that we're using the slope formula. So we're going to have to find the rate of change for using this table for between two different years and then compare them. So I have the year, and then I have the games won. What I know is that my X's are my years and my Y's are my games won. So I'm going to have 2010, 6, 2011, 11, 2012 is 8, 2013, 8, and 2014 there was 11 games won. All right. So the first numbers that we're going to work with are going to be what happens between 2010 and 2012. It's a 0. So that's going to be my X1, comma Y1 for 2010. My 2012 is going to be my X2 and Y2 because 2010 is first, so that's why it's X1. So let's talk about what we need to use. 2010, I need to use 2010, the number 6. And then for 2012, I need to use 2012 and the number 8. So let's see. So that means I'm going to get 2010, comma 6, 2012, comma 8. So X1 equals 2010, Y1 equals 6, X2 equals 2012, Y2 equals 8. I'm going to use the slope formula. So again, we're using the slope formula. So Y2 minus Y1 equals X2 minus X1, yeah. And that is going to be 8 minus 6 divided by 2012 minus 2010. So then I get 8 minus 6 is 2. 2012 minus 2010 is also 2. So my solution is 1. So that means that my rate of change for 2010 and 2012 is 1. And that's going to be 1 game per year. Okay, we went over how to find out that rate of change and how to define it. So now we need to go on to find out what's happening between 2011 and 2014. Alrighty, so let's do that next. I'm gonna move my paper. So, new set of points, just, changing it up. So I know what's happening between, or to find 2011 and 2014. So this is going to be X1, Y1, and this is going to be X2, Y2. We're using what's in pink. So 2011, that's going to be 2011, comma 11. And then 2014 is going to be 2014, comma 11. So X1 equals 2011, Y1 equals 11, X2 equals 2014, Y2 equals 11. We're going to use a slope formula. Y2 over X1, or the change in Y divided by the change in X, which is X2 minus X1. And I get 2014 minus 2011. Oops, no, that's wrong. So that's the Y's. Sorry, y'all. That's actually what I'm looking for. I'm trying to subtract these Y's first. Alrighty. I just go too fast sometimes. So it's 11 minus 11. That's weird. So 11 minus 11 divided by 2014 minus 2011. So that's going to be 0 divided by 3. So that means that my answer is 0. So let's put this all together. That means that the rate of change for 2011 and 2014 is 0 per game. No, it's 0 games per year, actually, yeah. Because even though you got 0, you can't dismiss that those were games. So it's 0 games per year. Even though you got 0. I know it looks weird, but it is what it is. So let's go back to answer our question. It says, according to the table, when was the rate of change greater? Well, let's think about it. The rate of change right here for 2010, 2012 is 1. And then let's use a different color. And then the rate of change for 2011, 2004 is 0. So which is bigger, 1 or 0? 1. So then the answer is 2010, 2012. Let's submit, and we got it right. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next problem. On their website, a popular bakery downtown published a number of cakes sold each month. So in the table, I have cakes sold at a bakery. Month is going to be the X. Cakes will be the Y. According to the table, what was the rate of decrease greater? So we're looking for the greatest negative number, and we'll get into that in a second. So first thing I want to notate is that when we are looking at this table, the table will kind of throw us for a loop, because if you think about what we were talking about in the previous examples, we said that the month, while we know it's the X's, it has to be represented by numbers, and the Y's also have to be represented by numbers. So luckily, months have numbers already, right? So we know that X is equal to 4 because April's the 4th month of the year. X is equal to 5 for May, X is equal to 6 for June, and X is equal to 7 for July. X equals 8 for August. This is a long chart. So we're using the slope formula. Let's go ahead and look at the first set. It says between May and June. So we need to figure out which one is the rate of decrease is greater. So when you talk about rate of decrease, you're looking for the negative. So we're looking for rate of decrease. This basically means that we're looking for the most negative. And we're looking for the most negative solution, or in our case, the most negative slope. Okay? And we're going to look at May and June first. And when I look at May and June, I know that I need 5 and 557. And June, I know I need 6 and 528. Now, I do want to rewrite the table just in case someone, as we did in a previous example, I wrote the table. So we said month and cakes, X and Y's. So 4 and 556, 5 and 577, 6 and 528, 7 and 559, and 8 and 554. Alrighty. So between May and June, we are going to be using we're going to be using the 5th month and 577 for number of Kates, and we're going to be using the 6th month and 528. So I know that my May is going to be my X1, Y1, and June is going to be X2, Y2. And so I have 577, 6, 528, X1 equals 5, Y1 equals 577, X2 equals 6, Y2 equals 528. I'm going to use a slope formula. Y2 minus Y1 divided by X2 minus X1. So 528 minus 577 divided by 6 minus 5. So 528 minus 577 is going to be negative 49. And then 6 minus 5 is 1. So when I divide, I get negative 49. So let's be specific here. The rate of decrease is basically the most negative slope. I want to be clear. The rate of decrease, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. The rate of decrease is going to be the most negative slope. And our slope right here is negative 49. So we need to identify this as the rate of decrease. So this is the first rate of decrease. Right, so now let's look at April and August. So I want to use a different color. Not from my pen, but from my highlighter. So let's use yellow. So April and August, we're looking at 456 and 8554. So when we make that second table, the months are going to be 4 and 550, month and cake, and then month and cake. So scroll for that. So we want to know the rate of decrease for April and August. Okay, so X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So I get 5 and 5. Are you sure? I don't know. April is 4. Thank you. 4 and 556. And then August is 8 and 554. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm using the right numbers. So X1 equals 4. Y1 equals 556. X2 equals 8. Y2 equals 554. So we're going to put this all together. It's going to be a little bit, let me just make this a little bit smaller so we have more room. So if y'all have any questions, please make sure that you are going to be sending me messages on Remind or on sending me a message on Remind or in the inbox on Canvas. We just want to make sure that the communication is consistent. And I like using the inbox on Canvas is because everyone can see it. So like if, say I'm not at work and Mr. Hyde is like, and you were like, hey, Mr. Hyde, I emailed Miss Gonzalez, whatever, he would be able to look at those emails. So that's what makes it great. There's no secrets. Okay, so back to our formula. So we had y2, and writing is getting worse, right? y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And I'm going to have 554 minus 556 divided by x2, 8 minus 4. So let's do this together. 554 minus 556 is going to be negative 2. And then divided by 8 minus 4 is going to be 4. Right here, I have to simplify. That means you got to reduce your fraction. So I'm going to get a negative 1/2. And that is my rate of decrease. So again, rate of decrease is negative 1/2. All right, here's what I need to know. I know that my problem is asking me for the rate of decrease greater. So it's asking me for the most negative slope. As I look at the most negative slopes, I have a rate of decrease right here of negative 49, and then I have a rate of decrease right here of negative 1/2. The first one is for the months of May and June, right? So I just want to be clear. This right here, negative 49, was May and June. Then the second one was going to be for April and August. So for April and August, I have a negative 1/2, right? Negative 1/2 as my rate of decrease. If we are talking about a number line, I just kind of want to get on with this with the number line. A number line has two sides. You have a positive and you have a negative. As you move further to the left, you are going to get greater negative numbers. Like you're going to get very large negative numbers. So if I had to make a number line with the negative 49 and the negative 1/2, I would put negative 1/2 right here, right? And then if I had to put the negative 49, it would be very far to the left. And the question is asking us for the rate of decrease greater. Well, the rate of decrease, the bigger negative number, is going to be negative 49. So that's going to be May and June. So let's go ahead and check out our answer. Submit. We got it correct. Alrighty, see you in class.